Deep beneath the flight deck of the USS Gerald R. Ford, in a maze of steel corridors that most sailors will never see, lies a world of secrets that would astound even the most seasoned military enthusiasts. These floating cities harbor rooms so classified that even personnel with top-secret clearance need special escorts to enter them. Space is so hidden that in 2017, a sailor named Peter Mims vanished for an entire week inside what the crew calls the Catacombs. Crawl spaces, so secret that search teams couldn't find him despite knowing he was somewhere inside the ship. The truth about what really lies beneath the surface of America's most powerful warships goes far beyond what any Hollywood movie has ever shown. From nuclear reactor compartments guarded more heavily than Fort Knox, to emergency escape tunnels that snake through the ship's bowels like underground highways, these vessels contain architectural marvels that remain invisible to the outside world. What you're about to discover will change everything you thought you knew about the engineering genius behind America's floating fortresses. These aren't just ships. They're mobile command centers housing technology in spaces so advanced that their very existence redefines what's possible on the open seas. If you're proud of our military's incredible engineering achievements, type "proud" in the comments. The nuclear heart, America's most guarded secrets. At the very core of every modern American aircraft carrier beats a heart that few people will ever see: the nuclear reactor compartments. These aren't just engine rooms. They're fortress-like chambers that house two of the most sophisticated power plants ever built for a moving vessel. The USS Nimitz-class carriers, first commissioned in 1975, revolutionized naval warfare by housing two A4W nuclear reactors in completely separate, heavily shielded compartments deep below the waterline. These reactors generate enough power to supply a city of 100,000 people, yet they're contained within spaces so secure that crew access is completely prohibited during reactor operation. But here's what makes these spaces truly extraordinary. They're not just powerful, they're virtually invisible to the outside world. The reactor compartments are surrounded by layers of radiation shielding so thick that even the most advanced detection equipment can't penetrate them. This creates what naval engineers call a black box, a space within the ship that's completely hidden from any external surveillance. The newest Gerald R. Ford class carriers, with the lead ship commissioned in 2017, take this secrecy to an entirely new level. Their A1B reactors are 25% more powerful than their predecessors while being smaller and requiring fewer crew members. The reactor spaces themselves have been redesigned with what the Navy calls stealth features to reduce radar cross-section, meaning these rooms are engineered to be undetectable even by the most sophisticated enemy sensors. Access to these spaces requires not just top-secret clearance, but personal approval from reactor personnel who work there. As one former Navy engineer revealed, even with the highest security clearance, you need to know someone who works in the reactor compartment to give you a tour, because these areas aren't open to anyone who simply wants to see or photograph them. The Catacombs, a hidden world. Beneath the engine rooms in June 2017, aboard the USS Shiloh, something happened that exposed one of the Navy's best-kept architectural secrets. Petty Officer Peter Mims disappeared without a trace, setting off a massive search operation that would reveal spaces so hidden that even experienced crew members had never seen them. For 7 days, Mims remained completely invisible while living inside what naval personnel call the Catacombs, a network of escape passages and maintenance tunnels that run beneath the ship's engine rooms like an underground city. These aren't just simple crawl spaces. They're a sophisticated system of interconnected compartments, each designed with multiple escape routes and hiding places. The investigation revealed that these catacombs consist of tight-fitting series of stiffeners and ribs beneath the engine modules, requiring personnel to crawl through a series of small compartments. The spaces are so complex and dangerous that when search teams finally located them, they couldn't complete a full search due to safety concerns about the small size of the spaces and the structural hazards involved. What makes these catacombs truly remarkable is their original purpose. They were designed as emergency escape routes for engine room personnel in case of catastrophic damage or flooding. But over decades of service, they've evolved into something more. A hidden highway system that allows critical maintenance work and emergency response without interfering with normal ship operations. The temperature in these spaces can reach over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, making them nearly uninhabitable for extended periods. Yet Mims survived for a week in these conditions, sustaining himself with whatever supplies he could carry. When finally discovered, he was found in an escape passage with a camelback water system, a multi-tool, candy, and an empty peanut butter jar. The most astonishing part of this incident wasn't just that someone could hide in these spaces, but that the search teams, despite knowing the general area where Mims was located, couldn't find him due to the maze-like complexity of the catacomb system. This reveals just how extensive and intricate these hidden passages really are. The Combat Information Center, the ship's secret brain. Hidden deep within the gallery deck of every aircraft carrier lies what many consider the ship's most critical secret space, the Combat Information Center, or CIC. This isn't just a room. It's the nerve center where every piece of information about the surrounding battle space is collected, analyzed, and distributed. The CIC represents one of the most sophisticated information processing centers ever built for a mobile platform. Located between the flight deck and hangar deck, this space is equipped with radar scopes, plotting boards, and communications equipment so advanced that much of it remains classified decades after installation. What makes the CIC truly extraordinary is its design philosophy. Unlike the bridge, which controls the ship's movement, the CIC controls the ship's awareness. Every aircraft, ship, submarine, and even individual personnel within hundreds of miles are tracked and categorized in real time. The personnel who work in these spaces have access to intelligence information that can determine the outcome of entire naval operations. The space itself is designed with multiple layers of security. Physical access requires special clearance, but even more importantly, the information systems within the CIC are compartmentalized so that no single individual has access to all the intelligence being processed. This creates what intelligence professionals call need-to-know security. Even people working side by side may not know what their colleagues are working on. Modern carriers like the USS Gerald R. Ford have taken CIC technology to unprecedented levels. The new electromagnetic catapult systems, advanced radar arrays, and integrated defense systems all feed information into CIC spaces that are more like spacecraft control centers than traditional ship compartments. The dedication of the personnel who work in these spaces represents the finest tradition of American naval service. These sailors often work 12-hour shifts in windowless compartments, processing information that keeps not just their ship safe, but entire carrier strike groups and the thousands of personnel who depend on their vigilance. Ready rooms, the pilots, secret sanctuaries. Most people think pilots just walk out to their aircraft and take off, but the reality involves spaces aboard aircraft carriers that serve as both tactical centers and psychological sanctuaries for America's finest aviators. These are the squadron ready rooms, and they represent some of the most important hidden spaces on any carrier. On Nimitz and Ford-class aircraft carriers, ready rooms are located on the 03 level, directly under the flight deck. Each squadron has its own individual ready room, creating a series of specialized spaces that most visitors to a carrier will never see. These aren't just briefing rooms, they're complete operational centers where life and death decisions are made every day. Each ready room is equipped with armchair seats featuring fold-up tabletops, arranged with military precision. The commanding officer sits in the front row on the left side, reflecting a pilot's seat position, while the executive officer sits on the right, mirroring a co-pilot's position. This arrangement isn't just tradition, it reinforces the chain of command even in casual settings. The walls of these rooms tell stories that would fill volumes of military history. Squadron patches, mission records, and photographs of aircraft and personnel create a visual heritage that connects current pilots with decades of naval aviation excellence. But more than decoration, these items serve as constant reminders of the standards and traditions that define American naval aviation. What happens in these rooms goes far beyond simple briefings. Pre-flight planning sessions involve detailed analysis of weather, enemy threats, mission objectives, and contingency plans. Post-flight debriefings examine every aspect of completed missions, creating a continuous learning environment that has made American naval aviation the most effective in the world. The technology in modern ready rooms rivals that of any military command center. Closed-circuit television systems connect all ready rooms during major briefings, allowing coordinated planning across multiple squadrons. Communications equipment provides direct links to the ship's Air Operations Department, ensuring seamless coordination between planning and execution. But perhaps the most important function of these spaces is psychological. Flying combat missions from a carrier deck is one of the most demanding tasks in military service. Ready rooms provide pilots with a space that's truly their own, a place where they can prepare mentally for missions and decompress afterward with colleagues who understand the unique pressures they face. The engineering maze, catapult control, and power systems. Beneath the thunderous action of the flight deck lies an engineering marvel that few people ever consider: the catapult control systems that launch 40-ton aircraft from 0 to 165 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. These systems require their own hidden cities of control rooms, power generation spaces, and maintenance areas. The catapult piping launch room, located directly beneath the takeoff strip, represents one of the most sophisticated mechanical control centers ever built for a ship. This space houses the hydraulic and steam systems that generate the enormous forces needed for aircraft launches. The engineering complexity is staggering. These systems must be powerful enough to launch the heaviest military aircraft while being precise enough to adjust for different aircraft weights and wind conditions. But the real genius lies in the protection and redundancy built into these systems. The control rooms that tune and manage the catapults are located under the hangar in the center of the vessel, specifically positioned to be protected from potential incoming fire. This placement ensures that even if the flight deck suffers damage, the essential systems needed for aircraft operations remain functional. The power requirements for these systems reveal another hidden aspect of carrier design. The new Gerald R. Ford class carriers generate 25% more electrical power than their predecessors, specifically to support the new Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS. This system represents a complete redesign of how aircraft are launched, replacing steam catapults with electromagnetic technology that provides more precise control and requires less maintenance. These advances didn't happen overnight. They represent decades of research and development by America's finest engineers and technicians. The men and women who maintain these systems undergo years of specialized training, becoming experts in fields that exist nowhere else in the world. Their dedication ensures that American naval aviation maintains its technological edge over any potential adversary. The maintenance spaces supporting these systems extend throughout the ship like a three-dimensional maze. Specialized workshops for hydraulics, electronics, and mechanical systems are connected by service tunnels and equipment elevators that allow massive components to be moved for repair or replacement without interfering with flight operations. Life in the deep, hidden crew spaces. While most people focus on the flight deck and aircraft, the real story of aircraft carrier life happens in spaces that visitors never see. Deep within these floating cities live and work up to 6,000 personnel, supported by an infrastructure that rivals any major metropolitan area. The crew berthing areas on modern carriers represent revolutionary advances in shipboard living. The massive 180-person berthing areas of older carriers have been replaced by 40-person spaces that provide more privacy and better living conditions. These smaller berthing areas are quieter and require less foot traffic, creating communities within the larger ship population. Each berthing area includes associated facilities that would be impressive in any land-based installation. Individual shower facilities, vacuum-powered septic systems, and even Wi-Fi-enabled lounges provide crew members with amenities that previous generations of sailors could never have imagined. These improvements aren't luxuries. They're essential for maintaining the morale and effectiveness of personnel during deployments that can last for months. But the hidden infrastructure goes far beyond living spaces. Deep within every carrier are complete medical facilities including surgical suites,
dental offices, and pharmacy spaces, capable of handling everything from routine care to emergency surgery. These medical spaces are staffed by some of the most versatile medical professionals in the world, capable of treating conditions ranging from combat injuries to routine health maintenance.
The food service infrastructure represents another hidden marvel. Industrial kitchens operate around the clock, preparing thousands of meals daily for personnel with demanding schedules and high-stress jobs. The logistics of feeding this many people while at sea requires refrigeration systems, food storage areas, and preparation spaces that would be impressive in any major hotel or restaurant. Recreation and morale facilities often surprise visitors who expect purely military environments. Gymnasiums with full-weight equipment, libraries, and even small theaters provide crew members with opportunities to maintain physical fitness and mental health during long deployments. These spaces represent the Navy's understanding that crew welfare directly affects operational effectiveness. Perhaps most importantly, communication facilities allow crew members to maintain contact with families back home. Telephone banks, internet cafes, and video calling facilities help bridge the gap between shipboard duty and family life, supporting the personal relationships that sustain military families through the challenges of naval service. Conclusion? The hidden spaces aboard America's aircraft carriers represent more than just impressive engineering. They showcase the ingenuity, dedication, and forward thinking that have made the United States Navy the most capable maritime force in history. From the ultra-secure nuclear reactor compartments to the maze-like catacombs beneath the engine rooms, every hidden space serves a purpose in maintaining American naval superiority. These floating cities demonstrate what's possible when American innovation meets military necessity. The men and women who design, build, and operate these vessels carry forward a tradition of excellence that spans generations. Their work in these hidden spaces, often thankless and always demanding, ensures that American naval power remains unmatched anywhere in the world. The next time you see an aircraft carrier, remember that what you're observing represents only a small fraction of the total capability. Beneath the surface lies a world of technological marvels and human dedication that continues to push the boundaries of what's possible at sea. The stories of these hidden spaces remind us why America's military remains the most respected and capable force for freedom and security in the world. Every compartment, every system, and every crew member contributes to a legacy of service that makes us all proud to be Americans. These remarkable vessels and the people who serve aboard them deserve our continued support and admiration. Consider subscribing to learn more about the incredible capabilities and dedication of our armed forces, and share this knowledge with others who appreciate the extraordinary achievements of American military engineering and service.